Welcome to Beyond Organised, the podcast that helps you simplify your life and amplify your purpose. I'm Mel Schenker, a life coach, speaker, founder of She's Organised, but more importantly, a wife and mum of 4 little kids. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, like you're constantly juggling everything but never quite catching up, this is the place for you. Here we go beyond just the tidying up and creating systems. We're talking about real life strategies that bring order to your life, but also we talk about the things beyond the organising, the things that really matter, like your parenting, relationships, and so much more. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. Welcome back to today's episode. Today I want to just jump straight into it. I want to actually go through a little bit more strategy and the practical side to the mindset side of things. So the last couple of episodes we covered, introduction to this podcast and what it is, as well as going through the Bellatrix method and the methodology that I use to help with order and balance across the main areas of our life: time, home, work, money, self-care, all of that. So with the mindset side of things, honestly, if we don't have our mindset in the right space, all these other things are great and they can work, but they may not last, or it may not be as effective or as efficient. So it is really important that you understand your own beliefs and your own mindset when it comes to this and possibly rewrite some of it. So with the mindset, I have a technique that I call the Vexanova Technique. I will probably break down the meaning behind that at some point in the future, but I think it's a really cool name, the Vexanova Technique. Now, there are 5 steps to it, and to keep it simple, it all starts with an R. So step 1 is recognize. Step 2 is reveal. Step 3, replace. Step 4, rewrite. And step 5 is reinforce. So I'm going to go through them, break it down, give you some examples, and I'm going to use an example of time for me, something in my life, but you can apply this to absolutely anything. I challenge you to find something that this doesn't work for. And if you do, let me know, because I am very keen to keep learning and growing and developing these tools to be able to help you. So recognize. That is identifying what keeps you stuck. So I always said, I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. I mean, how many of you can relate to feeling like your time is just being stolen from you, especially when you've got little kids and you're working and you're caring for sick parents or whoever, whatever. Never enough time. And especially when we're living in this 21st century where everything is almost instant. So we feel the need to fill up every second. So time. I always said, I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. And every now and then I catch myself saying that and I have to actually stop. So recognize and identify what's keeping you stuck. Now, the second one is reveal. So that's understanding why that exists. Why does this belief actually exist? Why do I think this way? Now, it could actually be that you have filled up every second of your day and you haven't given yourself any breathing space or downtime. A lot of the time, though, our beliefs actually stem back to our childhood. So a lot of our beliefs are formed by the time we're 8 years old, and we actually need to think, what was it that shaped us? Now, some of us grew up quite privileged, 2 parents, good education, safe environment, all of that. But some of us grew up with 1 parent or in the foster system, terrible education, a really unsafe environment, abuse, whatever it is. We all had different beginnings and all of that shaped us into what we believe. So when it comes to time, a big part of what shaped that for me was there wasn't a lot of structure and routine growing up. My parents were good at it, but it was a very free kind of home. Yes, I still went to school every day and did all of that, but it wasn't really something talked about or taught, and I didn't have set chores or routines or structures or systems or anything like that. But then also, as I've gotten older, a big part of the belief of why I'm so busy is because it was seen as like a badge of honor being busy as a mum. Have you found that that you feel like you're achieving something or you're accomplished or you're validated because you're busy? Well, I will I will go into that a little bit further in other episodes because that was something that I really struggled with for a long time. But that was a big part of why I didn't have that time structure so well. Now, the next part is replace. So we need to shift that belief into something that actually serves you. Now, this is a conscious effort. This is a conscious decision here. And a big part of it is actually speaking that life into you, actually speaking that positive, I can do this, I can manage my time, I am capable, I have got the skills, or I will learn them. I will find that coach, I will find the resources to be able to help with that. So replacing that belief, that false belief really, with a positive new one is key. You need to do that step. You need to shift it, and it needs to be a conscious effort. Now, number 4 is rewrite. So we now need to apply that. We actually need to practically start acting on that new belief. So we created a schedule that we stick to and adapt and keep it flexible, make it till you find what works for you. We do something practically that rewrites that new belief into our daily habits. And then very closely linked, we move into the reinforce. So that's something that strengthens the consistency of it, and we're constantly acting on it daily. So we haven't just done it once, we're doing it again and again and again and again. Now, a big part of this process of doing the 5 R's, the Vexanova Technique, is moving from a reactive mindset to a proactive mindset. So we want to go from the reactive, that feeling overwhelmed and that exhaustion and putting out fires, to actually moving into that proactive mindset of actually starting to believe I can do this. This is possible for me. And I have the tools that I need to be able to make this succeed. Now, to give you some examples of, a reactive belief versus a proactive. So, a reactive belief might be, I've got nothing left to give. But a proactive one is, rest is a requirement, not a reward. I give myself permission to recharge. And another one of time scarcity. There's never enough time in the day. And we can say, well, I make time for what truly matters, and I'm in control of my schedule. Another one might be to do with your self-worth and your identity. It could be, I'm not good enough. And you say, I'm just not good enough. But we speak that life and we say, I am created with purpose and my worth is not measured by my performance. I think so often as mums, and bear with me if you're not a mum, apply this to your situation, but I know as mums, we put so much of our worth into how we perform, and we compare ourselves with Sally next door and with Mary down the street and with, Joe at mother's group. We compare ourselves, and it's not a competition. It's not a performance-based thing. Every one of us is different. Every one of us is unique. And it's okay to be at a different level, and it's okay to have a different level of capacity compared to the person next to you, because they're not living your life. And the truth is, they probably have secrets in their closet that they're not showing you, the same as you are probably doing the same with them. So we don't always get the full picture unless you are actually in their life, living it every day and seeing it. You can't really know the full measure of where someone's at anyway. So it's pointless measuring ourselves against other mums. And I'm someone that really cares, even now, what people think. So, but a big part of that came in comparing myself and, where I'm at in my career, or how I am as a mum, or even how many kids I've got, whatever it is. That was something I was really stuck on. But now I don't care. I'm running my own race. I still care enough about what people think because, I want the respect and all of that, and I don't want to create an image that is negative or anything like that. But at the same time, I also don't get caught up on what people might say about me or think about me that's negative, because that's actually not my problem. Unless if I've done something that intentionally caused pain, which I can't think for the life of me of anything I have done. But if I'm just being the best version of me that I can, I'm running my own race, I'm doing my best, and someone else hates on me for it, that's actually not my problem. And maybe there's one of you that needs to hear that, because you're taking on everyone else's problems and making it your own and making it a part of, your identity, and it's not. So when it comes to our mind, there's so much I can go into, but this is sort of the foundational things that I will be going off in the future, in the episodes. This is what I coach on. This is what I teach on. So between the Bellatrix method and the Vexanova technique, these really are the foundations to how I coach and how I help you be able to achieve that more simple, more purposeful life, and going from that disorganized or even over-organized to a better balance. So I want to touch on that for a second. So I know I talk a lot about being disorganized or, not having things in any order, not having no structure, whatever that is. But there's also going to be some of you, and I fell into this camp in more recent years, of being over-organized. So I went too far the other way. And that is just as dangerous, I can tell you now. So it's one thing to be disorganized and not having learnt the skills yet. But then it's another thing to have learned all the skills and gone so far the other way that perfectionism is the only level that you're satisfied with. And I can tell you now, it's destructive. It will hurt you. It will hurt the people you love. And I've lived it for so long. I was stuck in that. And it hurt. It hurt me. And it hurt my family, because I couldn't be satisfied with anything less than perfect. The house had to be perfect. I had to show up on time to things perfectly. If a meeting ran late at work and I had another one scheduled and it's sort of back to back, I either had to leave one early or I had to go to the next one, obviously weighing up what was more important. But either way, it was out of my control, but it still put me in this negative headspace because it wasn't perfect. We didn't get to finish the one, or we didn't get to start the other one properly because I was late. And I had to let a lot of that go. I actually had to go through and recognize and, reveal it, find out where that came from. And okay, that went too far the other way. I had to replace that and actually go progress and, achieving something is better than having it perfect. And I had to rewrite that. I had to apply it. And it was painful doing it again and reinforcing it, again and again and again and again. But it got easier. It got easier as time went on. So this can be used for wherever it is you're stuck, whatever it is that you're feeling like is holding you back from having that more balanced and peaceful life. So I'm going to leave it there today. I didn't want this one to go too long because it is a little bit more, content heavy, but I'm hoping that you can start to look at where you're at in your life, start applying this technique and going, actually, I am stuck in this area and it is because of X, Y, Z, but I'm not going to be stuck there anymore. I am choosing to not be a victim. I'm choosing to be a victor. I'm going to beat this. I am strong enough because I've survived whatever it is. Start speaking life and you will be amazed at how your mind starts to turn around. And you could still be stuck in a horrible job. You can still be stuck in, the season you're in with little kids or, teenagers that you can't get to listen to you. Whatever it is, your situation and your environment around you might not be able to change straight away, but your mind can change and it will change absolutely everything. So I encourage you to try this exercise and let me know how you go. I would love to hear how this has helped you. Please send an email, reach out on my website. All the details are in the description. And I really look forward to hearing how you go. If you loved this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to continue the conversation, you can connect with me on Instagram at shiz.organised, or for some free resources, head over to beyondorganised.com/toolkit. Remember, organising is a tool to live the purposeful life beyond it. See you next time.